This is the orientation for the MLA 8th edition format. Today we'll be making a template. It's very simple and very quick and easy to do. You can use this template as a placeholder essentially to go in when you have papers due and replace all of the placeholders as they are with the current information needed and save it under a different file name, and everything you write should be in the proper format. So to begin, I would like to point out that my font and spacing is already set to how it needs to be, but I'm going to go through all the steps to show you exactly what needs to happen. So your first step is to click on the font box. Right here, where it says font, you will type in Times New Roman, or just Times, it should show up. Make sure your font style is regular and a 12-point font. It's normally at 11, you want it set to 12. Make sure that your screen looks similar to this, and then click on Set as Default. Depending on how frequently you plan on using this format, you might set it to all documents based on the normal template or this document only. Depends on your preference. Mine is already set. That is why everything is already in place, because I normally click this one. The next step is to click on the paragraph box and make sure that all of this is zeroed out. There's nothing is going on up here. It says after 8 point, you want to go ahead and set that down to 0. Your line spacing might be single, set it to double. And if this box has a check mark, be sure you uncheck it. Your screen should look just like this. After you're sure it's set, go to Set as Default and OK. And then one of the last steps we're going to look at, just with the basic construct of how this paper is going to look, is the margins. So with that, you're going to go to the Layout tab, click on Margins, and they should normally be set to this, where it's 1 inch all around. It's called normal, but in case it isn't, be sure you set it to that. After that, we'll go back to your home screen and begin our header. Click the Insert tab, and then you're going to select page number, top of page, and then plain number 3. Right here is where you will enter your last name and a space. You can exit this header by either pressing the Escape button or by double-clicking in the lower regions of the paper below the margin. Now your name will show up with the correct page number in all of your paper. Here you'll put your first and last name. Press Enter. After that comes your instructor's name. Enter again. The course. Enter. And then the date. The dates in MLA are written out in day, month, year form. So it would look like this, rather than, say, this. That is not acceptable. So it needs to be day, month, year. And then after that, press Enter one more time. And then you're going to go up here and center your text. Here is where your title will go. Your title should be in some way reflective of the content of your paper and give some information as to why your audience should want to read it. Also, with the title, all important words are typically capitalized and all unimportant words are lowercase. After that, press Enter, and then re-left align your cursor. So you can either click on this button or backspace a couple times, either way. And then the next step will be to press the Tab button on your keyboard. And then you can put anything here. I'm just going to put this information And for instance, if you just hold down a key, you can see that it has that nice indent on the second line. Should look like that. I'm going to remove those because they are not necessary. And then you can press enter again. The goal for having this first indent is every time you start a new paragraph, it should always have the ½ indent. And from here is where you'll just complete the rest of your paper. If you should be using any sources that would require an in-text citation, that would look like this. And you would include the page number, or it could look like this. Either one will do, just kind of depends on your style. I am going to separate these just for reference. Remember to remove these before you actually write your paper. Next, you will go up here to the Insert tab and insert a page break just by holding down Control and Enter at the same time. That also keeps it to where if you want to separate out some of your information or you want to go ahead and get started using your works cited page, then it will not alter it as you're continuing to write your paper. So go up here to the Home tab, make sure this is all the way left aligned, and then center your text again. Here you write works cited. Notice that this S is here. Even if you only use one source, it needs to be plural, so it needs to look exactly as this. Press enter again, and then left align it. And I'm going to give an example of a book reference. So it is usually, this is the author, last name, comma, first name, period. Then you're going to italicize your text by clicking on this I. You can also do this by holding down Control and I. Title of work. Again, with all important words capitalized, with a period following. Remove your italic. Next will be your typically where the book is published, and then publisher, comma, date. The date might come in form of a year, it might not. It just kind of depends how specific it needs to be. After that, we can go ahead and start looking at how you would cite a periodical. So it also starts last name, comma, first name, period. These titles go in quotation marks. They are not italic. So I'm going to make this a little bit longer than normal. So longer title of source. And you will insert a period before the quotation marks, but after the title name. And then we're going to italicize again. Title of container. You might be wondering, what exactly is a container? If you're using an article from, say, Time magazine, this would be time. After that, you will do the date. So usually in day, month, year, followed by a comma, your volume number, and your volume and your number, followed by commas each, and then the page range. So for example, we'll just say 1 through 5. It would look like that. So here you have your works cited page. It's already set up. It's already good. You have all of the information that you can just plug in. However, do remember that your sources need to be listed in alphabetical order. The last step here with the formatting on this page is very specific. Be sure that you can either do it beforehand, before you start writing out your sources, or you can do it afterwards, as long as you highlight all of your sources. So make sure they're all included here. Go up here to your paragraph box. On the second column here where it says indentation and special, you'll select hanging. Press OK. This one does not need to be default, just OK. And there, that is how all of your sources will look. If I, again, hold down some keys here, for an example, it shows a nice separation. It's very easy to identify which source is which, and you should be good to go. Your last step will be going up here to the File and then Save As button. You'll save it in a location you can easily access as MLA template. From there, you will be able to open it, access it, and then go in and plug in all your information. So for instance, you'll put your name here, the instructor for whatever specific course, that course information, and then your title. However, keep in mind that if you save it under the file name MLA template, you will replace this document and you will have to restart. However, you can also save it under a different file name, say SA1 for Comp2, something along those lines, and it will save it in a different location, and you will have this, the original, to use for future endeavors. I hope this has helped you and will help you get through your academic life. Thank you.